Hello, GMs. Welcome to the PSHL 2038 Draft Lottery Show. This is your Commissioner Scott Schaefer with you. We're going to be revealing the top picks in the upcoming 2038 draft. Just a reminder, the draft takes place next Saturday live with rounds 1 through 4. That will be taking place at 2 p.m. Eastern. A bit later than normal. I think I'm going to have to work that Saturday, so we pushed it back a little bit. Again, that'll be for 4 rounds, so expect it to go. Usually we average about an hour per round, so expect it to go 4 hours. Again, we changed the participation rewards for those who are drafting live, so make sure you check that out in the Discord chat as well. So you're taking advantage of getting all those bonus points. Again, Sunday next week will be the list portion of the draft for rounds 5 through 7. That'll be done through in-game lists only. Anybody that doesn't have a list or that runs out during the draft will be use their AI pick at that point, and they would lose the activity point bonuses for that too. Actually, a penalty would be assessed. So make sure you check out the Discord chat that was announced earlier in the week on the new rules for that. Another few notes. Just first off, I want to thank you guys again for another successful season of PSHL. I don't know. We're getting up to almost five. I think November. Does that make 5 years? 4 or 5 years? I think I have to double check and see when we actually started this. It kind of runs. I think we're getting up on season 19 in PSHL. Obviously, FHM 11 is probably a couple months away as well, so that's something to keep in mind as well. Also made a few announcements about the upcoming expansion that we're going to be looking at to expand to 36 teams, so we'd have an even number in all conferences, and that's coming up in 2040. That's the plan. So we still have 2 more seasons for that, but it's something you need to start preparing for now. So just to give you a little bit of advice on protection players and stuff and exemptions. If a player has played pro this past season, like if they were in the AHL, PSHL, or ECHL, that player is going to have to be protected in 2040. If a player hasn't yet been signed and playing professionally, that player will be exempt in 2040. So it's just something to keep in mind, especially heading into the off season and free agencies. When you're making trades with players, just make sure that you know that if the player's played, it's going to have to be counting against your protection lists for 2040. So, I did a little research to try and figure out what cities would make sense. Again, we only want to go to major cities that are realistic. Top of the list, I think, would be Houston. I'd like to bring the Houston Aeros back. That's a jersey that's already made in the out of the park community, so there's a nice looking jersey for the Houston Aeros, so that'd be a nice possibility. Bringing back the Atlanta Thrashers, even though in real life I don't like the idea of bringing back Atlanta again after failing, but for this league it makes sense. So there's also, I would assume that there's some nice looking uniforms out there as well for the Atlanta Thrashers. So a couple other cities: Portland, Kansas City, Cleveland, and Cincinnati here in Ohio. Also, big cities that could support an NHL franchise. So, if you guys have any other cities, again, I don't want to go to Canada. We just went to Canada for Quebec. I don't think we're going to go back to that. I think we stick to the the United States teams. Some major cities that would love to have NHL expansion teams. So, we're going to keep it realistic that way. If you guys have any ideas of major cities that could support NHL franchises, let me know. We'll consider it. Again, it's going to be a realistic team name that has uniforms already made in the out of the park universe. So logos and jerseys and that sort. So we'll start planning that out closer to the draft. And again, like last time, even though we ended up having GMs that did the draft, I don't necessarily have to have GMs. If needed, we'll go with AI to select those teams, and then we'll fill them up afterwards. So something to keep in mind. If we find GMs, great. I don't want to have one real GM and one AI GM, so it's either 2 or none. So it's just something to keep in mind. It's basically, it's something that's going to be a cap relief for teams because they'll be able to expose players with big contracts, and it's going to, help with the depth issues that teams have as well. So, not to mention, it's going to equal out our schedule, have us with nine. If we stick with the 4 division structure, it'd be 9 teams per division. Right now we're 9 and 8, so it's a little bit unbalanced there. So it's just things to keep in mind. We still have 2 seasons ahead for that, but it needs to be on everybody's radar so they can prepare for that. So another reminder too, we only have 4 people watching here, but remember, post a message in the chat to make sure you get your 2 bonus AP points. Which, since it's bonus AP, it's worth 2 points or double points, so it's 4 points total. So make sure you post a discussion in the chat or a message in the chat, and then we'll get that going. So again, thank you for everyone. Again, successful season we talked about, but it took a while to get launched up this season because we were working on the web portal, getting that ready so that's functioning for the season, and it was great. It was a huge success, I think. Led to a lot of participation, a lot of articles being put through the site. I added the trade feature to the site during the season where you could go on the website to approve your trades. That worked out well. I added the playoff prediction poll to the website, and I also added an automated feature on the commissioner end where I could just go in and hit a button, and the activity points for exports and stuff are automatically, instead of having to go through the list and see who all exported and put a 1 next to their name, and it was getting kind of repetitive that way. So now I just go in, it automatically shows me who exported for that sim, and I hit a button and it updates to the website. So that works out a lot. One thing I did find out as we got moving into the playoffs is that the website isn't fully functional for playoffs right now. I added the playoff tree standings website, but there's a lot of exports in FHM that don't include playoff stats, so it made it a little more difficult to do full updates on the website for the playoffs. So something I'll be looking at in the near future to make the website better for playoffs. One of the things like playoff box scores didn't really work out well because I'm having to do a lot of work externally on a spreadsheet that counts the goals, and it didn't really work for playoffs because it would have just added on to the playoff or the regular season goals, which we didn't want. We didn't want to have a guy who had 50 goals and then score 3 in the playoffs and show him 53 goals in the playoffs. If that wouldn't be accurate. So something I'll be looking at for next season, as well as making the website easily converted to PSHL 2. So PSHL 2 is heading into their off season. They're in the playoffs right now, and there'll be a delay for that league as well while I get the website set up for PSHL 2 as well. So some work and some coding to make it easy to just change the name from PSHL to PSHL 2, and it'll convert to all the pages. But it's just a lot of work's going to have to go into that on the back end to make that conversion easier. So that's going to take some time. I haven't been working on it too much because now that my second job's working Saturdays, and I've been working on draft classes and stuff, getting those ready. So, the next couple of weeks, we have the draft next week, but the next few weeks I'll get going on the website again and start adding some more features to it. So, again, feedback is great on that. If you guys see any issues on the website or anything that you think should be added, let me know, and we'll work towards getting that added for you guys. So, thanks again. I've seen some posts in the chat there, although I don't know who. Oh yeah, that's Colm. Okay. All right. So yeah, if it's not clear who you are in the chat, just make sure you post what team you are so you get the AP. So let's see. Without further ado, let's go ahead and let's reveal. Let's go ahead and do the salary cap lottery first. How about that? So let me pull up the chat GPT. I should have it already copied, ready to paste. Let's see here. Alright, so just again to check the wording here, I changed this a little bit so that it's more official. So this is official. Please randomly select a result from the following selections, all weighted equally, to determine the new PSHL salary cap for the 2038-39 season, which is currently at $91.5 million. So this will pick from one of these, I don't know, what, 10, 12 different options, and it will tell us what the actual salary cap will be for the upcoming season. So good luck, I guess, to everybody on this one. Let's see what next year's salary cap will be. We have a $1 million increase for next season. So Next season, the cap will go up 1 million to 92.5 million. So I guess that is better than staying where it was, or you see there's three different options that could have decreased the salary cap. So we're going up 1 million. So you guys are going to have a little extra money to throw around this off season. So congratulations to everybody on that. And now we'll go to the draft lottery. Pull up my spreadsheet here that's got the draft orders, so when I see someone change, I'll know who is moving into one of those top two spots. Just a reminder, these are the 18 teams that did not make the playoffs. It decides the first and second overall picks. Everything else will drop into reverse order from standings. And if a team that is near the bottom of the draft lottery odds wins, they can only move up 10 slots. So if a team is at the 18th slot and they win the draft lottery, which is like a 0.5% chance, I don't know what it really is, they would only move up 10 slots to number 8. And then the worst team, the team that has the best odds, is the Philadelphia Flyers, who own the Arizona Coyotes first round pick. So if someone past 10th in the odds wins the draft lottery and they can only move up 10 slots, that would mean that the Flyers would retain that first overall pick. So let's go ahead and reveal the 18th pick in the draft. I think I got to reveal all the teams that made the playoffs first. Let's see here. Yeah, okay, so let's go up to 18. These are just reverse standings right now. Alright, let's see. So with the 18th pick in the 2038 draft, this pick belongs to the Pittsburgh Penguins. So the Penguins will retain that 18th pick overall. They did not win the draft lottery to move up into one of the top two slots. So Penguins will draft 18th overall. With the 17th pick overall in the 2038 PSHL draft, this pick will belong to Minnesota Wild. So the Wild, who had the 17th best odds to win the lottery, will retain that 17th pick in the 2038 draft. With the 16th pick in the 2038 draft, this pick belongs to Carolina Hurricanes. So the Hurricanes, who were in that 16th slot, they will retain that pick and select 16th in the 2038 draft. With the 15th, thanks buddy. Got my lunch, okay. With the 15th pick in the 2038 draft, this pick belongs to Dallas Stars. So the Stars also retain that 15th overall pick in the 2038 draft. So far, no movement as we go on to the 14th pick in the 2038 draft. 14th selection belongs to the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers, who own the Tampa Bay Lightning first round pick, retain that slot at 14th. So they will be picking 14th overall on Saturday's 2038 PSHL draft. With the 13th pick in the 2038 draft, this pick belongs to Quebec Nordiques. So the Nordiques, who own the New York Islanders first round pick, will be drafting 13th overall in the 2038 PSHL draft. The 12th pick in the 2038 draft, this pick belongs to Buffalo Sabres. My Sabres, who own the Columbus Blue Jackets pick. This is the pick that was acquired in the Arnott deal, which everyone thought was going to be a lottery pick. Ends up being the 12th overall pick. With the 11th overall pick in the 2038 draft, please say it's not the Sabres. Please say it's not the Sabres. This pick belongs to the Buffalo Sabres. Okay, so the Sabres, hoping that they can pull off some miracle in the draft lottery, do not. At least I have 2 picks in a row, which is kind of cool, but obviously there's a few good players in this draft that I want to have a chance to get. So now have to be done by trade. So the Sabres will draft with the 11th pick in the 2038 PSHL draft. So far, no movement as we pull into the top 10 picks. With the 10th pick in the 2038 PSHL draft, this pick belongs to Quebec Nordiques. So the Nordiques, with their own first round pick, they will draft 10th and 13th in this draft. So they'll have the little sandwich deal with the Nordiques drafting twice and the Sabres in between. So that'll be fun. With the 9th pick overall in the 2038 PSHL draft, this pick belongs to the Anaheim Ducks. So the Ducks also retain that 9th pick. Still no movement in the lottery. Looking good for those Flyers to retain that first pick. We have the Flyers still available. Nordiques with their Nashville Predators pick. The Oilers, the Kraken, the Devils, the Panthers, the Red Wings, and the Blackhawks still looking to pull into those top 2 slots for the 2038 draft. With the 8th pick overall in the 2038 PSHL draft, this pick belongs to Chicago Blackhawks. So the Blackhawks retain that 8th pick in the 2038 draft. Just have a little confusion here why the Loggers logo is showing up there. They don't have any lottery picks here. Let's see. Oh, that's something to keep an eye on there. I don't know why that is, so we'll see. Alright, with the 7th pick in the 2038 PSHL draft, this pick belongs to... Now I gotta figure out why this is so. The Loggers slot in 7th. Do they own the Red Wings pick? Let me see. Bear with me here, guys. I gotta do a little research and see why that showed up in the Red Wings slot. Let's see here. Does Milwaukee own Detroit's first round pick? You guys are probably posting in the chat. You guys probably know, but I'm trying to research a little bit, see, because I don't have it on the website. I don't have it in my spreadsheet. So here's the trade. It's top 10 protected, so that's why I didn't switch it. So that pick's going to be retained since it is a top 10 pick. I'm going to have to edit in game. The Red Wings will keep that pick. So the Red Wings will draft 7th overall. And their next first round pick will then switch over to Milwaukee. So since that's a top 10 protected pick, I just have to make that change on the spreadsheet and the website. So that's where the confusion was. So the 2037 PSHL draft pick belongs to the Detroit Red Wings. Give me 1 second, I gotta pull back up the spreadsheet here. Alright. So still no movement in the draft lottery. Can I get back to it? Oh. Okay. Whew. There we go. Alright. Still no movement, so we still have the Flyers, the Oilers, the Nordiques, the Kraken, the Devils, and the Panthers battling for those top 2 slots in the 2038 PSHL draft. As we move on, the 6th overall pick in the 2038 PSHL draft. This pick belongs to the Seattle Kraken. So there's our first movement. The Florida looks like that's two movements. It looks like the Florida Panthers have jumped up and the New Jersey Devils have jumped up into those top two slots because the Kraken have dropped two slots from 4th to 6th. So it looks like the Devils and the Panthers will be the lucky ones today. Congratulations to you guys. We'll now reveal the 5th overall pick in the 2038 PSHL draft. This pick belongs to the Quebec Nordiques. So the Nordiques dropped from 3rd to 5th with their Nashville Predators first round pick. With the 4th pick in the 2038 PSHL draft, this pick belongs to the Edmonton Oilers. So the Oilers dropped from 2nd to 4th with the Panthers and Devils jumping up in those top two slots. Didn't the Panthers win 2 years ago too, the draft lottery? The Colton Reed, is that the Colton Reed draft where James had to trade for that pick? Either way, congratulations again to you guys, the Devils and the Panthers. So with the 3rd pick overall in the 2038 PSHL draft, this pick belongs to Philadelphia Flyers. So the Flyers, with their Arizona Coyotes first round pick, dropped from 1st to 3rd in the draft. The good news for them is I think there's 3 players in the draft that each go first overall. We have Alexander Sholov, the defenseman. We have Evan Lamosa. And we have Elias. Oh, what is his name? Oh, I got Dahl. Elias Dahl. So those I think were the 3 guys that we're looking at first overall pick potential. So even at 3rd overall, you're going to get yourself a pretty good player to build around. Now again, this isn't a hugely top-heavy franchise player type draft, but there's certainly guys that are going to be considered first-line players in this draft that you can build a team around. So Flyers will draft 3rd overall. So we'll go ahead and I'm going to hit show all just to reveal between the Devils and the Panthers who wins the first overall pick in the 2038 PSHL draft. With the first overall pick in the upcoming 2038 PSHL draft, this pick belongs to the Florida Panthers. The Panthers have won the draft lottery. The Devils move up from 5th to 2nd. The Panthers move up from 6th to 1st. So congratulations to both of you. Again, thank you all for a successful season. We look forward to having an exciting draft upcoming next weekend. We'll then get into the prospect signing period, which will only be 1 sim this time. We've done 2 sims before, but we've also had some issues where some players didn't sign anyways in the 2nd sim, so it's no point to have 2 sims at that point. All the signings will just have to take place in the 1st sim, and then we'll get to free agency. So another thing I forgot to add, you guys probably already noticed it, I am going to be moving the Arizona Coyotes from Arizona to Utah, to the Utah Hockey Club. That will be obviously temporary if the name changes next year in the NHL. So I'm going to have to do some work on the website to convert that change over. It won't happen until after July 1st, so we'll still consider the Arizona Coyotes the Coyotes until we flip over to next season in game. And then I will start making the necessary changes to change it to Utah Hockey Club. Again, thank you all for watching, and good luck this upcoming season. Bye for now.